Hello, everyone. Today I have a great pleasure to talk with Teresa Anthony, who is based in Australia. I would like to know more about you and if you can introduce your background and what is your story.
Okay, so by way of introduction, I was actually born in not in Australia, in New Zealand, which is across the Tasman, and I brought up with a very hardworking family. You know, mum and dad both, had a few jobs and came from a family of with four other siblings there. Had a wonderful life, mum and dad always done what they did for us. They actually came from Fiji, and they started their life there prior to coming to New Zealand. So I grew up there. I sadly lost my father when I was quite young, just as I finished high school. So that was a huge turning point for me in my life as well, dealing with that. Obviously, something very unexpected. He passed away of a massive heart attack. So our life kind of changed there as well. Moving forward, I basically worked with communities in a community service role. So I loved working with people. This was kind of me all the time. I was always out there helping and supporting people. So by going into that role, it was just second nature for me. So I did that for a period of time, for a number of years there. I absolutely loved it. Went overseas, fell in love, long distance relationship with my husband in Fiji, in a small island in Fiji. Did the long distance relationship, and that was kind of like my love story, and came back to New Zealand, and I started my professional career in a government department, and I was there for a number of years. Had three boys, and they grew up there. Basically done a number of roles there in that sort of professional career, and once again I was working with people. So I worked at the airport and loved interacting with people from around the world. That was very much what I was and who I was, and that kind of sort of went. I just went into specialised areas in that role. Moved to Australia back in 2008 in Melbourne. With my husband and boys, and gave them that opportunity here. They followed their sporting career in that, and that was wonderful. And continued doing what I did. I actually worked as a private investigator, so I kind of was a business owner and done all of that as well. There we go, once again working with people. So that was me. Love talking, as you can tell. I love speaking, and I love talking with people and connecting with people. Came up to the Gold Coast, where I'm based now. And in just April last year, that was a huge turning point for me in my life. I sadly lost my husband. Excuse me. It was just a normal weekend. He worked as a very fit construction worker. He did his thing, and it was just a normal family weekend. And we had actually gone out to dinner. Didn't actually see anything wrong. We had actually been away a couple of weeks prior on a big family holiday on a cruise together with siblings around the world, and that was really, really cool, everyone connecting and that. And it was after dinner we came home, and he basically had sort of gone to bed saying he was really hot, and there was nothing untoward. There was, we didn't sort of see anything, untoward there. And then everything changed. He had a catastrophic stroke with a subsequent brain hemorrhage, and I was faced with the initial shock, the trauma of dealing with it all, resus and that. It was almost as if it was just a horrible, like a scene in a movie just being played in real life, and I was like, I'm 44 years old. How is this happening? I'm happy. I'm living life. I'm in my prime. What's happening here? So, yeah, we were in hospital with him for about a week before he passed, and that was really hard. That was very, very hard. I myself had also suffered with a number of health issues. So I was actually much bigger than I am today. So my health was declining. Being faced in that position as a mum with three boys, and your partner who you'd been with for over 26 years, just not being there was huge. I described the pain, and I've been through grief and loss and the trauma and with different experiences through my life. But this was something different. The pain had cut so deep that I literally was numb, like I couldn't move. And I had to actually take a moment and just sort of step back and breathe. And it was just so easy to give up. Everything was happening and all these things around me were happening, and it was like life was actually starting to consume me. And this is how I tell my story, because we get to a point in our lives, and even though I'd been through what I did, I was still just doing life. I wasn't doing the things that I really wanted to do. So this was all kind of happening in the background. And for me, I was starting to get lost here. The real Teresa wasn't there. She was kind of just surviving, so to speak. I took a moment and I really basically looked at my boys and I thought, they've lost their hero. They've lost their idol. The last thing they need is to lose me. They were my why. They were at points of their life where I had a young one who just started high school. I had a middle one who was graduating and doing like a formal, and I had an older one who was doing a 21st birthday, all significant events through that year. And I'm like, wow, what's happening here? This can't be happening. So, I actually started my transformation. I did a gut health program where I started to basically start repairing my inner world, really. I did this and successfully started losing the weight. First month it was like 10, 11 kilos, and I was thinking that this is good, because the psychological clarity was coming back. I'm starting to see things better. I'm starting to really feel me again. So started to bring that self-confidence, and I was actually starting to find me again. So I did that, and throughout that sort of period, I lost 26.5 kilos, and I've maintained that and feel fantastic. I've never felt great. It helped me sort of transition through this grief process and with my boys. And I know by getting me right first, they were able to pull strength from me. Because they, obviously much younger, they have to deal with with life without dad. So with me being, the fundamentals, the foundation there for the family, they could draw from me that strength. And I knew in order for me to give love and happiness, the cup had to be full. I couldn't really give it from a cup that was half full. I had to be overflowing. So this was me giving back. So I got through that. And transitioned through the grief and done the weight loss, and I got to a point too, like I went back to work and I was working full time and I was just still doing life. And then earlier this year I also had another bit of a health scare, and everyone was kind of thinking, she's got something really bad happening to her. But no, I wasn't going to let anything keep me down. I've got too much to give. So I got through that. And I, I'd always had people, and I'd been working with people throughout this time and prior to that, and just guiding them and supporting them and just coaching them through their life and inspiring them, knowing that, hey, stuff happens and we all have a story, and we all have a story to tell the world, and we all have this to tell and share with people. So I made that decision. I was like, this is what makes me happy. I was kind of thinking, this is what I love doing. I love getting up. I love connecting with people. I love talking. Obviously, I can talk the pants of anyone, really. I try and keep it short. But I do. I'm like, okay, you said 15 minutes. We'll keep it short. So, yeah, and it's just me. Like, it's like I said to you, it's going to be raw. It's going to be real. And what you see is what you get. It is who I am, moving forward.
Thank you, Teresa, for sharing your story. In terms of your new journey, new endeavor, what is the actually project or business you are now involved with? Can you share a little bit more about?
Yeah, so I embarked on this journey of personal development, and I found that the gift for me was speaking, and I love getting up and sharing with people, connecting with people, and just letting them know that I've been there. I feel your pain. I totally get it, because that was me. And getting up on stage and having that connection with people is something I love doing. And I want to take my message to market. And I want people to know that life is so short, so short. So many people worry about all the outside stuff, all the materialistic stuff in the world. I need this, I need the fancy car, I need all this money, I need all of this. Really? You wake up the next day, you take it, your first breath, someone's taking their last. My life changed within a 24-hour period, literally. And I was just like, wow, and you just see things totally different. I know when we do go and it's a place of unconditional love and so forth. I totally get it, but I see so many people get caught up in all the other stuff, and they need to just worry about them. And my message to a lot of people too is, you need to start with you. You need to start getting you right. You need to start working from here. When you share too, when you make decisions, and this is how I do it, you make it from your heart. You give it from here. Give with your heart. And that's what I have to give people. I connect with people because I generally care, and I generally just want to hear their story. Know that, be that voice too for people that don't get heard. Because so many people just, they suffer with so many different things. And it's like, well, if I can be the one to tell your story, if I can be the one up there, if you can connect with me, if you can unpack with me, if I can help you show that there is another way forward, let's do this. Because guess what? When you're down there, you want someone to support you and give you that hand up. You want to be able to connect with that person and say, hey, guess what? I hear you. I feel you. I know where you're coming from. Let's do this together. And I think that's what so many people in this world are missing. We are all here for each other.
So what will be your message to those people who didn't maybe face the trauma you face, but they still suffer? How to move from that fear and take the control of their life and start doing something which is really important for them?
Well, this is what I did, and something I had to learn too, because I had, believe it or not, that fear of public speaking, that fear of even like talking to you. To see this camera up, I'd be like, oh goodness, he's going to have to talk to me. Their eyes looking at me. And it was like, okay, how am I going to do this? So this is something I had to go through. So I actually found me a coach, because you can't self-heal or self-coach. You actually do. So I had to be accountable to someone. So I learned this really great process, and I went through it, and it was about conscious creation, and using that mind as a magnet and starting to let go of a lot of these things, recoding the brain, regular meditation, basically getting in touch with your inner world. And this is what I've done, and this is what I do with people moving forward. And it's pretty cool, like it's got me to where I am today. And, I'm just good. I know that I'm living life. I'm doing things that make me happy. I don't have to be doing anything really fantastic. I can still just be good hanging out with the family, spending quality time with people I love. And you'll see with a lot of my posts in that I share too as well, that people need to realize that it's those precious moments, it's those experiences, it's those little things in life, in your lifetime, that you actually take with you. It's what's packed inside here. It's not what you can try and think you're going to take with you. That's not how it is, And I've obviously gone through this with the different experiences through my life, and obviously with my husband. That was such a special time too, with reflection and just really knowing and getting in touch with, the important people and things that you have in life. So that's me.
I like the point you mentioned about authenticity. So you always like to work with people, but after this trauma, you find this is the reason why I should recover from my trauma and take control of my life for my voice. And you decide to help people because you know that came from your own experience. And I think that's critical for all of us who are developing a personal brand, that we are actually using something from our personal experience and personal gift and passion. That's something we can do, and that's something we can give to the world. And Teresa, because now we are end of this year, 2019, and we are entering in the new decade. So it's very good timing to start planning how we're gonna live next decade.
Well, I'm working on a program where I'll be. I've basically put a few posts out there for a small group of people, where I'll be doing a lot of one-on-one through these processes that I'll put together, giving them that chance to basically ignite their inner fire, start getting them really geared up for 2020, start stepping out where they want to do, have a look at their future goals, where they want to be, and actually putting these processes in place for them and just stepping that out and going through it. Because a lot of people too get stuck. You all get to this point in your life where you just kind of, maybe I should do this, but what's holding me back? Do this. So actually realizing that, well, we need to have a look at this problem here and how can we do it. So this is where I come in and help them step through this process, and I'd love to work with these people. I do have people that I work with one-on-one, and I do that, and I do speak. I get up and speak and share my story with people as well. So that's another thing I do. But going into 2020 with anyone that would love to kickstart their career and work closely with me, here we go. Let's do it. Yeah.
And for all of people who are watching this video, what is the best way to reach out to you? Do you have some website or social media networks? Or do you
definitely. So at the moment, I've got there's Instagram, there's Purely Inspired with an underscore there, that's me. And I do have my Facebook pages. There is Purely Inspired, there's a community page there. So if people want to drop me a message, and connect with me there, they can, and they'll send me through a message via that. Just know that that's life. We all go through this. We all go through our experiences in life. We need to look back and think of what lessons have we learnt in life. I didn't realise with my husband certain things throughout our marriage. He would say and do, and I was always the wife. Oh yeah, I know, I don't, you don't. But when I look back, I'm like, he was actually teaching me some very valuable lessons. And I look back and I even think of people like my dear grandmother and my father, and people who have been in my life that have passed on. And I'm thinking, what were they teaching me in life? Underlying thing for me too, moving forward, is to just be happy. And I think for me getting through this with my husband, he was a man who loved life. He loved people. He was the guy who would be there with the music on and just enjoy it. He'd be the one saying to me, you know what, honey, you need to just get up and you need to do this. I know you can do this. And for me, that's sort of something that was really comforting, because I know I can do it. It was just that the belief, and you just needed someone just to give you that helping hand and do it. And you'll find that when you're just happy, you're just good. Surround yourself with people that lift you up, that don't put you down, that keep supporting you and seeing you on this journey and there to support you along the way. Listen to that song and do that. Just do something crazy, whatever you want to do. Just enjoy life, because it literally is so short. Every moment counts. Don't think that I've had this really bad day. Guess what? We all have. You got to get through that tunnel to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm telling you now, there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Please be free to reach out to Teresa, connect with her, do one-on-one, invite Teresa in your country. Teresa also can invite you if you have some speaking engagements, and let's create amazing 2020 and next decade. Because of love, because of the things that life is short, and we really have to focus.
Thank you so much for inviting me. See everyone. Bye.